Hello, this is Joshua for Frost Dragon Designs, and today I'd like to talk to you about my paint roller cat, Heart Enamel pin. This pin is part of my Cute Cat Pin subscription club. Every month, members of the club get a new cute cat pin sent to them directly in the mail. And since I'm late releasing this video, this pin is not currently available. Now let's get into the design. So the Paint Roller Cat is the last club pin for 2024. It's the one that's being shipped out in January of 2025. And I think the whole concept of this pin boils down to pets, or cats specifically, being curious about things that their owners are doing. And a great example of that is when you're painting. And not just being curious, but being curious and like potentially getting in the way or causing some issues. If you've ever had a cat and you're trying to paint a room, you pretty much have to lock the cat out of the room. At least that's been my experience. Cats are very curious. They want to come over. They want to sniff it. It smells different than everything else in the house. You might end up with a cat with paint all over its nose, or if you accidentally leave like the paint can lid sitting on the floor, invariably it feels like the cat is going to walk over it and then start leaving little cute cat paint footprints all over your floor or your carpet. If you especially if you thought that you were going to be a very clean painter and didn't put down a drop cloth, they really love then to get paint on themselves and then walk around and roll around on your floor to help you decorate. And so it was that kind of idea that inspired this pin, but the story goes actually a little more differently than that, because what I originally did a sketch for was a cat standing up and kind of reaching into a bucket of paint. And that's going to be a pin probably in 2025, just because I still really like that idea. And the reason I didn't do that this time around is actually really silly now that I think about it. And I don't, anyway, the reason I didn't do that was because I had already done the cat reaching into the pickle jar. And I didn't want to have, in my mind, quote, too many cats reaching into things, unquote, released in a single year through the club. And so, that's kind of a really silly reason, because like if I'm thinking about it, like the whole little sleeping cat that I like to reuse over and over, I release multiple of those each year just because I have lots of ideas where a little sleeping cat works. So I'm not quite sure why I thought the cat reaching into something would be different. Like, I don't know why I thought I shouldn't release another one of those. I mean, because the other two of cats reaching into things, the cat reaching into the fishbowl and the cat reaching into the cauldron, those were released in 2023 and 2022, I think. So anyway, kind of a really silly reason to not do it. But anyway, so in 2025 is when we're going to have the cat reaching into the paint bucket at some point. So that's why I ended up going with the cat, what ended up being cats, and the paint tray. I still think it works well. And, I think it would also work well to have multiple pins in a similar subject matter that you can kind of group together. Now, the shame of that is when I finalized this design, for whatever reason, I chose to go with a green color paint. I think I really liked it when I first chose it. And now maybe it's because like we're almost through the Christmas season and there's just been a lot of green from like evergreen pine kind of look. Maybe I'm just like over greened, like I'm greened out right now. So at the moment, I feel like I don't like the color green that this is, but I think that that's just because I've been around the color green so much the past month or two. I'll probably warm back up to it pretty soon. Now, I also know that this is not the most popular pin for my club for this year. I can tell because, people can come and go from the pin club as they please. And I saw a fair number of people drop out of the club when this is the pin that was offered. But honestly, that's fine. That's not an issue. Other people will be able to pick this pin up through my shop whenever it gets listed in a couple months. So that'll work out well. And pins like this, I always find this interesting. Pins that don't resonate with a large audience, I find that they really resonate with people when they just kind of like find them in the wild or on my website or that sort of thing. Like there's going to be someone out there who sees this pin and is just like, oh my goodness, I just finished repainting my living room. My cat was all over the paint stuff the whole time. And they'll get the pin as kind of like a a keepsake of that memory. And I think stuff like that is really kind of interesting and fun. And that's kind of what I really love about, pins in general. Like you could come up with the craziest off the wall concept for a design, and there's an audience for it, and I just love that. And on the other side of that, I love being a pin collector because I can discover things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe somebody made, and fill in the blank pin, and it's just really cool. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching me design this pin and hearing me talk a little bit during that process. If you do, please go ahead and like and subscribe. I try to release 1 to 2 new videos a week. I haven't been very good at that recently with the holidays, but I'm going to start getting back into that habit. And I would love to have you along for the next one. So thank you again so much for your time, and have a great rest of your day.